constituency sits. On my right, we have Gladys Wanga, Women Representative, Homa Bay County, and next to her, Priscilla Nyokabi, for the very first time on this panel, Women Representative, Nyeri County. Karibu sana. Now, a quick look at the headlines this morning, and we start with the Daily Nation. Give truth report to MPs while demands. He was speaking at the Requiem Mass for the late William Ole Ntimama, which happened yesterday at the All Saints Cathedral. Remember, William Ole Ntimama, the former cabinet minister, is being laid to rest today in Narok. Also on the front page of the Daily Nation, election team to remain in office longer. That's one story that we will discuss slightly in a short while. And look at the Star. IEBC delays threaten 2017 poll timeline. The same story as the Nation, and we will definitely look at that. And a very interesting photo there on the front page of the Star. Uhuru, first Kenyan president to visit Somalia in 30 years. You can see the presidential jets back there, clearly written Republic of Kenya. And on the Standard, crisis over 2017 poll timelines. They all agree which headline is leading this morning. It has to do with election timelines. Of course, the president is yet to assent to the elections amendment bill that was passed by the Senate last week. And that has quite a number of repercussions and consequences. But before we get to that story, there are stories we need to look at. And as you notice, we have an all-female news review panel today. Yesterday we had all-male. But one of the stories we're discussing is about the Federation of Kenyan Women Lawyers, FIDA, moving to court to challenge a law on matrimonial property sharing. And on Twitter we've been criticized that we were impartial. We were not impartial because we cannot have such a discussion with an all-male panel. And so just to give you a chance, because I've seen the story still on the back page of the Nation, and Kenyans apparently are not amused after the proposal presented by the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, that family wealth should be shared equally in the event of a divorce. FIDA has gone to court seeking that Section 7 of the Matrimonial Property Act declared invalid and unconstitutional. They claim that the spouses should share their wealth equally, irrespective of the contributions that are made by each party. Now, it's a very emotive issue, and that's why I've decided to revisit it, just to get the views of the other side. Yeah, and I'll probably start with you, Rosa Buyu, because this debate has been there. It is in the law that property should be divided, and the court determines how much of a contribution each spouse made. But now FIDA wants it to be clear, 50-50 sharing when you divorce. What do you think this is heading? Where do you think it's heading, really?
I think in most cases the women have been the underdog in cases of divorce. And why? Because in most cases women stay at home and look after the children, look after the husband, look after the home generally, and you can't actually quantify what sort of that in value terms. So the man goes out to work and brings the money and saves the money in the bank and buys furniture, buys property of this family. And so when it comes to a divorce, the man can actually say that this is my contribution and put some value to it. And the woman is always left feeling like, I spent all my years, for example, I'm married for 28 years now, I've spent 28 years in this marriage, and you're telling me that I've brought nothing to it. We are divorcing and you're going away with everything because you've worked for it. But as you are working, I, the woman, was also making it possible for you to work and keeping everything intact for the family. So then there becomes an issue there that after 28 years, if you have to walk away, you're walking away with nothing. And yet you put all your energy, you put all your effort in this marriage. So I think it is fair that in case of a divorce, assuming that we've been married and we've both been working for the betterment of this family, in case of a divorce, everything should actually be divided equally. That's my take.
Do you agree?
Well, first, I will agree. And I think FIDA is talking to the majority of Kenyan women who do most of their household work at home. Those who do not work. Because the law also is very clear. You find that, yes, 50-50, but the law also says that if you have receipts to show that these are the things you are buying individually, then you can't go 50-50 there. And the law is very clear. And many women who economically are able to go to work and are able to earn a salary and to understand that law, that's what they do. If you feel this is what I want to buy and put in my name, even though it's for the family, but I have used my money, bought it, you are able, when that time comes, even though, again, we are saying it is never the best that Kenyan women, and you find most of them will never like this thing called divorce. By the time they are getting to that word divorce, things are really, really bad. But most women will always try to maintain their family values and to stay within a family. And women are the ones who hold these families together, because women will always say, where am I going? My children, you know. But at that point, yes. So for me, if it is the 80% of a woman who doesn't understand that there is a law in this country that when you go to a chama and you've gotten some money, you can buy and keep the receipt written your name. That one will be for you and your children. And if you want also, it can be for you and your husband. Now let's go to the other part. As Kenyans treating, today, women are the ones who are doing more of the jobs, taking care of more of the families than even the men. So here I think the men are the beneficiaries, by the way. What FIDA is trying to do is now to benefit the men, to be honest. Because when you look, it's not like the days of our fathers, where dad used to do everything to ensure the family is there. Today, women are the ones who are carrying these families. And therefore, for me, men should not just look at it as if it is the women going to benefit. This is 50-50. It means men who are also taking care of women who are doing a lot of work out there can also benefit. And maybe you're not on a salary, maybe you're the one mostly at home. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about you, Gladys Wanga. If at all you were in a situation where you make more money than your partner, and you're told, okay, fine, now share it 50-50.
Yeah, Fred, let me first start by saying that there's been a lot of questions out there as to what have the women in this parliament, 11th parliament, done. And I think one of the landmark laws that the women in the 11th parliament have really come together with supportive male members of parliament to pass, it was the Marriage Act and this Matrimonial Properties Act. I think those were, laws that were hanging out there for many years, were never really able to see the floor of parliament. I think they were progressive, and they're very, very progressive. And to your question, as to whether I would agree to a 50-50 settlement after working very hard, yes, I would. Okay, first of all, I wouldn't want to get there. Many women and men in our society, as it currently is, do not want to get to the point of divorce. I mean, we will just have our problems. We will try. We will try not to get to the point of divorce, as Senator Elachi has correctly pointed out. But I think there's something else that Rosa has said that is true, which is that how do you quantify how much time say someone, whether it's the man or the woman, has put in that is not necessarily in monetary terms, which is a lot. People put in a lot of time, and you never really have time to do these things of receipt. It's not that, I mean, I go and buy a fridge, then I keep the receipt, then I'm keeping the receipt at the back of my mind thinking, I might have a divorce, so let me keep this one so that I will produce it. And when I do that receipt, it will be specifically written in my name. If I walked into a shop with my husband and we were buying, first of all, even if the money was in our family account, he would do the buying. I would just do the, I would stand and I would choose. He would say, which one do you think is nice? I would choose. This one looks very nice. He would do the buying. The receipt will be in his name. It is the normal Kenyan African woman thing. So I think what FIDA is trying to do is to clean up, because there was a big debate as to this quantification of what FIDA is trying to do now is to clean up, the law and sort of tidy it up so that we don't go to this point of quantification and so on. I think I agree.
Okay, you agree. I suppose you will agree as well?
Yes, and I'm happy because this particular clause was just sneaked in by the men on the floor of the house. The bill was actually equal from the beginning. It came through our committee. The contribution part does look at all the issues about women. If you contribute into the family land, you contribute into the family business, you contribute by giving children and rearing children and the family welfare, all that is part of the contribution. And so up to that level, the bill was very good with the equal clause. The men are always very clever in Parliament. They quickly ganged up and removed. One of them proposed a deletion. And they said to us, this law has been pending since 1968. Do you want the law to all go, or do you want to agree here and now we pass this law? I mean, 1968, a clause on equal, you have a quick chance to get the bill in. We say, okay. And they were outnumbering us on the floor of the House. So now that FIDA has taken up that battle, because the Constitution says equal, the bill up to drafting by the Attorney General, up to drafting by the government was equal, the clause was just nicked out at the last minute. I think it is time that the judges have a view on it. But in terms of good family welfare, in this country, we are all very sure about our values and our principles. Divorce is not a first resort. Divorce is a last resort. Yes. Yeah, unless it is really, really bad, reconciliation has been tried, the elders have come in, the church has come in, the councillors have come in. Unless it is really, really critical that parties dissolve the marriage, then that is only when it happens. And the property is calculated, not the entire property of your life. Is property that you have acquired within the marriage. Yes, it's not what you came with and what he came with, it's what you have acquired within the duration of the marriage. And I think in all fairness, that should be 50-50, because every one of those parties has to go and start life afresh.
Yes. I think what has brought this to the fore also is the recent ruling, court ruling, where there was a divorce, and the court actually gave judgment that if one of the partners has some hidden property or concealed property, where, for example, in my marriage, I've been buying things and accumulating
and hiding them
without any knowledge of my husband, then that is considered my property even at the time of divorce, and my husband cannot partake of that property.
So that's what people should do.
It's as if it's encouraging that that's what you should do. But look, what does that do to your family life? Yeah.
Well, the Attorney General has given an opinion, and he said that the courts should uphold the precedent that all acts of Parliament are constitutional, and the burden of proof falls on the person that alleges that it is not. Yeah, that means this will continue. Of course, the case will be heard on the 5th of October. We just await to see what the court will decide. Very interesting debate. I'm sure we'll be back here to discuss that. Now, because of time, I would have wanted us to discuss President Uhuru Kenyatta's visit to Somalia, but I'm seeing that we're not going to have enough time for that. So we go straight to the impeachment of the Nyeri governor, Derito Gachagua. And for this one, I have to give a rider because the Speaker of the Senate has already gagged senators not to comment on this. So Beatrice Elachi, you'll be excused from this one. But you can decide to what level you would want to to contribute. But yesterday, of course, Senate held its first session at the plenary where the governor appeared, and he defended himself against the accusation